An alcove bed in a camper. You only realize how tiny this space is once you start working on it. Here we are again with another renovation video. This time we are tackling the alcove, because if we want to start taking trips in our camper, it would be nice to have a comfortable place to sleep. The alcove had suffered from leaks in the past and was repaired by the previous owner. Unfortunately, the repairs were not done very precisely. Some of the wooden pieces were too thick and some of the styrofoam insulation didn't fit properly. We decided not to redo everything from scratch, but simply improve the insulation and rebuild the wall. The window had been reinstalled once before, but I noticed that the rubber seal was already starting to crack. So at some point in the future it will need to be removed and resealed properly. I still need to find out where to buy new window rubber before I can tackle that job. David removed all the wall panels that the previous owner had installed, which gave us the opportunity to build new ones. He also had all the new panels cut to size at the hardware store and then trimmed some corners himself so they would fit perfectly. After that, I seal the edges in stages with Sikaflex 522. It may be a bit overkill for the interior, but because the sealant remains flexible, it seemed like a good idea. After all, the camper moves and rattles quite a bit due to its short wheelbase. I filled the screw holes with putty. There were also some small gaps between the panels and the styrofoam, which I sealed with Sikaflex. We removed the side window, well, at least the leg, I don't know how it is called, but David could trace the opening from the outside. Look, it fits perfectly. Then I stapled the panel in place and worked the rubber seal back around the window. Now for the front window, the most challenging part of the alcove. Because the roof slopes downward slightly, the space around the front window is narrower and much harder to work in. The opening for the front window is cut out. We secure the side window and then continue stapling the front panel into place. Reinstalling the rubber window seals was a bit difficult, but after some effort, everything went back in nicely. And finally, I sealed all the edges to give it a clean and finished look. Meanwhile, David was installing the car radio, because the camper didn't have one when we bought it. The previous owner had removed the original radio and replaced it with his own, but the radio was not included in the sale, so we installed our own Pioneer radio. The ceiling work was almost finished. Once everything had dried, I started wallpapering the right side of the alcove. I cut the wallpaper to size beforehand so I wouldn't have to struggle with the roll in such a tight space. If your wallpaper has a pattern, it's important to line up the design before cutting so the pattern flows seamlessly, otherwise it looks odd when the pattern doesn't match. I used a self-adhesive wallpaper, similar to contact paper. It's thin, lightweight, easy to cut and sticks very well. It's also easy to remove later or to cover it with another layer of the same type of wallpaper. I was worried that the unfinished brown wall panels might affect the final color of the wallpaper, but fortunately that wasn't the case. The wallpaper covered very well, so there was no need to paint the panels white first, which saved a lot of work. The best way to finish the wallpaper is to tuck it slightly underneath the window rubber, so I left a small overlap. This gives a neat and professional looking finish. Sometimes annoying bubbles or wrinkles appear. When that happens, it helps to peel the wallpaper back and smooth it down again from a different angle until the imperfections disappear. Working in an alcove is surprisingly exhausting. You have to keep your head bent the whole time, which quickly causes neck pain. And because the sun was shining while I was working, the small space heated up very quickly. One final wall and we are done. We ordered a custom-made mattress, which is 15 centimeters thick, perhaps a bit thicker than necessary, but without a slatted base, we wanted to make sure we would sleep comfortably and avoid back pain. Ta-da! The final result! Now we finally have a cozy and comfortable place to sleep in our camper, Emunah! If you enjoy renovation videos, travel adventures and meaningful conversations along our Noahide journey, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next episode.